And my hope is that since the women can come together, Scrap and Chaotic can do the same too.
You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem with it. Now you out of your lane once, so I might have to smack that ass. You know, you're done. Don't call me, don't own it. I'm like T.I. When you say, hey T.I., I don't want to kick it with y'all, I don't want to skate with y'all, I don't want to do nothing. It's now soon. I got a record I'm about to drop today that I already pre-recorded because I knew you was gonna come up, fumble up on some bullshit. And when this record drop,
then you going control, acting like, you know what I'm saying, you so G'd up, like that was a G'd up movie, but you playing on TV. What you doing is, right, you allowing this whole TV thing. The reason I don't respond back gangsta y'all is because I'm not trying to allow this TV stuff to really turn into something. You know what I'm saying? You threw a trick.
In the dimly lit room, the tension was palpable. Scrappy was known for being a hothead who was hard to reason with and prone to losing his temper, but today something felt different. His thoughts were racing as he paced back and forth. Like a broken record, the words replayed themselves in his mind, a maze of rage and disbelief. The secret that Bambi and Khaotic share is unknown to everyone due to his months of the nose. The clues were tiny, almost imperceptible, a long-distance look, a whisper too faint to hear. But now that he knew, everything made sense. Despite Scrappy's suspicions, the truth was never what he had anticipated. Scrappy felt the sharp sting of betrayal in his gut, and the heaviness in his chest made breathing difficult. He turned to face Khaotic, who was standing a few paces away from their initial appearance. He had known Bambi since he was a young lad, had always considered her a sister, and had protected her. Now, however, they were involved in a messy, covert relationship that Scrappy couldn't understand. They had battled with him, laughed with him, won with him, and lost with him, despite the fact that they were like brothers, sharing everything and trusting one another with their lives. Made every effort to protect Bambi and shield her from the mayhem that encircled them all, but now the person he had trusted the most had violated his trust in the most terrible way he could think of. He felt the anger growing within him as his hands clenched. His vision became blurry, and as his anger built like an uncontrollable storm, he wanted to scream and shout to make them feel the same way he did. Weight of the treachery, but something stopped him, a single devastating realization that, despite knowing all along that he loved Bambi, Khaotic had laughed in his face and concealed the truth. Scrappy screamed so low and menacingly that they could hardly be heard above a whisper. However, why didn't he inform me? There was no remorse or apology when he gazed into the eyes of pandemonium, only. Scrappy felt his fury consuming him and corrupting his thoughts since he was a traitor and a stranger. He had been comraded and brothered by the man. "You never asked," he replied with a strange shrug. He said calmly, "That's all it took." What little patience Scrappy had left snapped with a look of frustration, and he rushed forward, slamming his fist into the side of Khaotic's jaw. The sound of the collision echoed across the room, and Scrappy felt the heat rising in his blood. He couldn't care less if he was hurt and duped. That was all that mattered. By this time, he needed revenge. Scrappy didn't hear her because he was too angry and blinded. Bambi stood in the doorway and hurried forward, her face displaying a mixture of dread and surprise. Scrappy stopped, she pleaded desperately. Khaotic staggered back and used the back of his hand to wipe the blood from his lip as their eyes met. He no longer had the resolve to fight, not the kind of fight Scrappy was seeking, but the icy realization that the man he had called his brother was no longer there, and that the woman he had once stood up for was now on the other side. You both knew that Scrappy's voice was breaking as he screamed, but he chose not to inform me. Bambi and Khaotic remained without responding. She gave Pain a look but remained silent. Even he, Scrappy, prayed she would say anything, to explain why she had chosen chaos over him and why she had done this to him. Everything vanished the instant she spoke. Only an excruciating void remained after all of Bambi's sorrow, rage, and betrayal. One thing was evident as Scrappy stood there panting and his heart pounding, but his thoughts were too muddled by his feelings to be rational. Both his relationship with Chaos IC and his faith in Bambi were destroyed. He would never be the same again. In the stillness that followed, Scrappy felt the weight of the irreversible betrayal pressing down on his chest, serving as a reminder that sometimes the people you love the most can harm you in unexpected ways.
Time, he the one who called me out my name, disrespecting me, talking gangster. I never talked gangster. I never threatened you. I don't play no victim. I just don't do all that fake gangster talking and all that. You came at me talking gangster. First of all, if I say anything sick or say anything crazy out my mouth, I got rights anyway.
I probably went too hard or something, took something the wrong way or something like that, you know? So I want to say, I'm sorry to Chaotic.
We're getting somewhere. We're not.
Because I can give a Because let me tell you something. When a motherfucker go with me and he feel like I'm not a good person, I feel the same way he is. So we on the same page.
No, but he does not feel that.
He just said it. He said, hey, you feel like I'm not a good person?
No.
Ain't no life.
No.
Yeah, you need to stay like that.
You stand on your
And we don't stand on it.
No.
Let's stand on it.
No.
We don't stand on it.
No, he said not. Stop. He did not say that.
What I said was, if you feel like I'm a bad person to you, then
It's not about that right now. This is about you. How do you feel about him?
I never said I had a problem with him.
No, this what he do. This what he do. He say something crazy and he be like, oh, I ain't got no beef. I ain't got no love.
Chaotic always trying to play a victim. He'll start, then he want to be like, I don't want no beef, man. If you got an issue, stand on it. If not, sit down and shut up, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, bro, it don't even really matter.
Still gonna try to goddamn. He want everybody to be like,
oh my God.
No, because we're so grown, you're only making a statement of our own thoughts here.
I can watch it good. I'll be like, oh.
Okay, so wait. That
You know what your problem is?
I ain't got no problem. I beat your ass.
You had a million times to do it.
You got a problem with me. Keep talking that boy.